In a busy city filled with tall buildings and bright lights, people rushed about their daily lives. Among them was Alex, a brave firefighter known for his quick thinking and kind heart. He loved helping others, whether it was putting out fires or rescuing cats stuck in trees. But one ordinary day, something extraordinary was about to change his life forever. As Alex finished his shift, he walked home through the bustling streets. He noticed a commotion near the park. Curious, he moved closer and saw a crowd gathering around a woman. She was unlike anyone he had ever seen. Her skin shimmered in shades of green, and her long hair flowed like a waterfall. Alex could feel the tension in the air, and he pushed his way through the crowd to see what was happening. When he reached the front, he saw the woman kneeling on the ground, her face buried in her hands. Alex felt a wave of concern wash over him. He stepped forward, gently placing a hand on her shoulder. "Are you okay?" he asked softly. The woman looked up, her large, tear-filled eyes meeting his. "No, I am not okay," she replied, her voice shaking. "I need help. My child has been taken." Alex's heart sank. He could see the fear and desperation in her eyes. "What do you mean?" he asked, crouching down to her level. "Who took your child?" "The Zarkans," she exclaimed, her voice filled with panic. "They are ruthless aliens who kidnap children from our planet. My baby was playing outside when they took him. I need someone to save him." Alex listened carefully, trying to absorb her words. The Zarkans were notorious for their cruelty, and he had heard stories about them. They would capture anyone, regardless of age, to use for their dark purposes. Alex felt a deep sense of anger rising within him. "Where did they take him?" he asked, determination filling his voice. "Back to their planet," she replied, wiping away her tears. "I don't know how to reach them. I'm just a simple mother. Please, you must help me." Without hesitation, Alex nodded. "I will help you," he said firmly. "What's your name?" "Zara," she said, her eyes widening with hope. "Thank you, kind human." Alex took a deep breath. He knew this would not be easy, but he could not ignore her plea. "Zara, we need a plan," he said. "Do you have any idea where the Zarkans might be hiding?" Zara nodded slowly. "I have seen their ships in the night sky. They come to take children. I can show you where they land." "Let's go," Alex said, standing up. He felt a mix of fear and excitement. This was not just another rescue mission. It was a chance to save a child and possibly change a life forever. Zara led him to a quiet part of the city where the trees grew thick and the noise faded away. As they walked, she explained more about her world. "We come from a planet called Viridia. It is beautiful and full of life, but the Zarkans destroy everything. They took my son, and I fear they will hurt him." Alex listened closely, his heart aching for her. He could see how much she loved her child. "I promise we will bring him back," he said, feeling a strong bond forming between them. After what felt like hours, they reached a clearing. Zara pointed to the sky. "Look!" she exclaimed. Above them, a dark shape moved silently. It was a Zarkan ship, its lights blinking ominously. "They will come back soon. We must act quickly." Alex's mind raced. "Do you have any weapons or tools we can use?" he asked, scanning the area for anything that might help. Zara shook her head. "I have nothing but my will to fight for my child." "That's enough," Alex said, feeling the surge of determination. "Your love is the strongest weapon we have. We'll find a way to save him together." Zara's expression softened as she looked at Alex. "You are brave, human. I did not expect this kindness from you." Alex smiled, feeling a warmth in his chest. "It's what heroes do. Let's make a plan." As they stood in the clearing, discussing their next steps, Alex realized he was not just fighting for Zora's child. He was fighting for a chance at something greater. The idea of family, love, and connection began to blossom in his heart. He thought about what it would mean to protect someone so precious. Suddenly, the sound of a ship landing interrupted their thoughts. Alex and Zara ducked behind a tree, peering out at the scene. A large, intimidating ship landed with a thud, its engines roaring. As the door opened, dark figures emerged. The Zarkans were here. Alex's heart raced. He could feel the danger surrounding them, but he was ready. Zara squeezed his hand, her fear palpable. In that moment, they both knew that they had to face whatever came next together. "Are you ready?" Alex asked, looking into Zara's eyes. "Yes," she replied, her voice strong. "For my child, I will do anything." With determination, they stepped forward, ready to confront the Zarkans and save her child. Little did they know, this was just the beginning of an incredible journey that would change their lives forever. Preparing for the quest. As the Zarkan ship landed, Alex felt his heart pounding in his chest. He and Zara ducked behind a tree, watching the dark figures step out. The Zarkans were tall, with sharp features and menacing armor that glinted in the fading light. Alex could see their eyes scanning the area, and he knew they had to act quickly. "We need to find a way to distract them," Alex whispered to Zara, glancing around for any possible tools or resources. "If we can create a diversion, we can sneak into their ship." Zara nodded, her face filled with determination. "I know this area well. There are old tools and scraps nearby that we can use. Follow me." She led him through the thick trees, moving swiftly and quietly. Alex admired her bravery. She was not just a frightened mother, she was a warrior ready to fight for her child. They reached a small clearing where old machines and broken vehicles lay abandoned. It was a perfect spot to gather supplies. "Let's see what we can find," Alex said, scanning the area. He spotted some metal pipes, a few old batteries, and a large piece of canvas that looked useful. "We can make something to create a loud noise. That should get their attention." Zara quickly gathered the materials while Alex worked on a plan. "What if we make a noise distraction?" he suggested. "We can set off a sound device to lure them away from the ship." Zara nodded enthusiastically. "Yes, I can help. I know how to make it work." Together, they got to work. Alex twisted the metal pipes together, while Zara explained how to connect the batteries to create a loud bang. As they worked side by side, Alex learned more about Zara's world. "Tell me about your son," he asked, wanting to know what he was fighting for. "My son's name is Leo," Zara said, her eyes sparkling with love. "He is curious and brave. He loves exploring our planet. When the Zarkans took him, he was playing with his friends. I just want him to be safe again." Alex felt a surge of determination. "We will get him back, I promise." After a while, they had built a small device that looked like a mini rocket. "This should work," Zara said, her hands trembling with excitement. "When it goes off, the Zarkans will be drawn away from their ship." "Great job," Alex said, feeling proud of their teamwork. "Now we just need to figure out how to get close enough to set it off without being seen." As they gathered their tools, Alex noticed a shimmering object lying on the ground. He picked it up and saw it was a small communicator device, likely left behind by the Zarkans. "Look what I found," he exclaimed, holding it up. "What is it?" Zara asked, curious. "It's a communicator. We can use it to listen in on their conversations. Maybe we can find out where they are keeping Leo," Alex suggested. Zara's eyes widened. "That's brilliant. Let's see if it still works." She pressed a button, and suddenly, voices crackled through the device. "Did you see the human?" One voice said, gruff and low. "He was here, but I lost him," another replied. "We need to secure the area. The child is important." Alex exchanged a glance with Zara, both of them feeling the weight of urgency. "We have to hurry," he said. "Let's set our plan into motion before they realize we're here." They made their way back to the edge of the clearing, where they could see the Zarkan ship. The dark figures were moving about, their attention still on the surroundings. Alex and Zara positioned themselves behind some bushes, ready to launch their distraction. On the count of 3, Alex said, taking a deep breath. 1, 2, 3. Zora pressed the button on the device, and a loud bang echoed through the trees. The sound was deafening, followed by a bright flash of light. The Zarkans turned in alarm, shouting at each other. What was that? Go check it out, one shouted. Now was their chance. Let's go, Alex said, and they darted towards the ship. Heart pounding, he felt adrenaline rushing through his veins. They were so close. As they reached the entrance, Alex paused for a moment. Are you ready, Zara? He asked, glancing back at her. Yes, she replied, her voice steady. We will do this together. They stepped into the ship, and the inside was filled with strange machinery and blinking lights. It was nothing like anything Alex had ever seen. He could feel the power of the Zarkans surrounding him, but he pushed the fear aside. Where do you think they would keep Leo? Alex asked, looking around. Probably in the holding cells, Zara said, pointing to a corridor lined with doors. Let's check down that way. As they moved through the ship, they heard footsteps approaching. Alex quickly pulled Zara behind a large machine, their hearts racing. They listened as 2 Zarkans passed by, discussing their plans for the captured children. Tomorrow, we will transport them to our main base, one said. The human will never find them there. Good, the other replied. We can't let anyone interfere. Alex clenched his fists, anger boiling inside him. We can't let that happen, he whispered to Zara. We need to hurry. Once the Zarkans were gone, they continued down the corridor. Each step felt heavier than the last, but they pressed on, driven by the love they both felt for Leo. The quest to rescue him had begun, and nothing would stop them. Together, they would face whatever challenges awaited them. They were ready to fight for love, for family, and for the hope of a better tomorrow. A journey through space. As Alex and Zara moved cautiously through the Zarkan ship, they felt a mix of fear and determination. The walls of the ship were cold and metallic, and strange lights flickered overhead. Zara's heart raced as she thought of her son, Leo, and the danger he might be in. She took a deep breath to calm herself and focus on their mission. We have to find the holding cells quickly, Zara whispered, glancing at Alex, who nodded in agreement. They approached a door marked with strange symbols. This might be it, Alex said, examining the door. It looked heavy, made of solid metal. He pushed against it, but it didn't budge. We need to find a way to open it. Zara examined the door closely. I saw a control panel down the hallway, she said. If we can reach that, we might be able to unlock it. Let's go, Alex urged, leading the way back down the corridor. They moved quickly, careful to stay out of sight. The ship was quiet except for the faint hum of machinery. Suddenly, a loud alarm blared, and red lights flashed all around them. They must have found out we're here, Alex shouted, his heart racing. We need to hurry. They reached the control panel, and Zara quickly began to press buttons, her hands shaking with nerves. Come on, she urged, her eyes darting between the buttons and the door. Just then, 2 Zarkans appeared at the end of the hallway, their armor glinting ominously. This way, one shouted, running toward them. Zara, hurry, Alex urged. He looked around frantically, searching for a way to buy them more time. He spotted a small lever near the panel. Without thinking, he pulled it down hard. A loud crash echoed through the ship, and a section of the wall collapsed, blocking the hallway. The Zarkans shouted in alarm, their voices filled with anger. What was that? One yelled. Get through. Now, Zara cried, and she pressed the final button on the panel. The door swung open with a heavy creak. They rushed inside just as the Zarkans managed to clear the debris. Inside the room, they were met with rows of holding cells, each containing a small, frightened figure. Zara's heart sank as she scanned the room, looking for her son. Leo, she called, her voice filled with urgency. Mom. a voice cried from the farthest stell. Zara's heart leaped as she saw her son, Leo, looking pale but unharmed. He was chained inside, his small frame trembling with fear. "Hold on, sweetie. I'm coming," Zara shouted, rushing to his cell. Alex quickly looked for a way to free him. "Here," Alex said, pointing to a panel next to the cell. "There's a control panel here. I'll try to unlock it." As he worked on the panel, Zara knelt down and reached through the bars. "Leo, are you okay?" she asked, her voice softening. "I'm scared, Mom," Leo replied, tears in his eyes. "I want to go home." "I know, baby. I'm here now, and we're going to get you out," Zara reassured him, her heart breaking at the sight of her child in distress. Alex pressed button after button, his heart pounding. Come on," he muttered under his breath. Finally, there was a beep, and the cell door unlocked with a loud clang. "Leo, step back," Zara instructed, her voice firm. As the door opened, she rushed inside and wrapped her arms around him, holding him tightly. "I've got you, my love." "Mom, I thought I'd never see you again," Leo cried, his little arms hugging her fiercely. Alex stepped back, giving them a moment of reunion, but he knew they had to leave quickly. "Zara, we need to move," he urged, glancing back toward the hallway. The Zarkans were coming, and they didn't have much time. "Right," Zara said, pulling Leo close. "We have to find a way to escape this ship. Follow me," Alex shouted, leading them back through the room. They moved as fast as they could, but the ship's alarms continued to blare, making it hard to think. "Where's the exit?" Zara asked, looking around frantically. "The hangar. It should be at the other end of the ship," Alex replied, recalling the layout he had seen on the communicator. "We can take a ship and escape." They raced down the corridor, and as they approached the hangar, Alex could hear voices behind them. "They're escaping," a Zarkan shouted. "Stop them." "Faster," Zara urged, holding Leo's hand tightly. The three of them sprinted down the hallway, fear propelling them forward. Finally, they reached the hangar door. Alex pushed it open, and they rushed inside. The hangar was filled with small ships, all ready for takeoff. "Which one should we take?" Leo asked, looking around in awe. "That one." Alex pointed to a small ship with a sleek design. "It looks like it's ready to go." They jumped inside the ship, and Alex quickly began pressing buttons to power it up. Zara secured Leo in a seat next to her and strapped herself in, her eyes filled with determination. "Ready?" Alex asked, looking back at them. "Ready," Zara and Leo shouted together. As the engines roared to life, Alex punched in the coordinates for their home planet, his heart racing with hope. They could hear the Zarkans shouting behind them as they tried to stop them. "Let's go," Alex shouted, slamming his hand on the launch button. The ship shot forward, bursting through the hangar doors and into the vastness of space. The stars twinkled all around them as they flew away from the Zarkan ship. Zara looked at Leo, relief flooding her heart. They were safe, but the journey was far from over. They still had to find their way home and face whatever awaited them. As they soared through space, Zara knew they had formed an unbreakable bond. Together, they would conquer the challenges ahead. They were not just a mother and her child. They were a family, united in their fight against the darkness. Sneaking into danger, as Alex, Zara, and Leo soared through space, they felt a mix of relief and anxiety. They had escaped the Zarkan ship, but they knew their journey was far from over. They needed to find a safe place to land and figure out how to get back to their home planet. "Where should we go?" Leo asked, his voice small and uncertain as he peered out the small window at the stars. "We need to find a nearby planet to hide for a while," Alex replied, glancing at the ship's control panel. "We can regroup and plan our next move." Zara felt a sense of urgency. "We can't stay in one place for too long," she warned. "The Zarkans will be searching for us." After a few tense moments of searching the stars, Alex spotted a small planet ahead. "There, that one looks like it might work." "It's a good idea," Zara agreed. "Let's check it out." With a steady hand, Alex adjusted the ship's controls and set a course for the small rocky planet. As they approached, Zara noticed the planet was covered in dense forests and mountains. It looked peaceful, but she knew appearances could be deceiving. Once they landed, the trio stepped out of the ship. The air was fresh, and the scent of pine filled their lungs. Lio ran ahead, excitement bubbling inside him. "Mom, look at the trees," he exclaimed, pointing at the tall green giants. "Stay close, Leo," Zora cautioned, her eyes scanning their surroundings. "We don't know what's out there." Alex nodded in agreement. "Let's find a place to hide and come up with a plan." They moved deeper into the forest, carefully choosing their path. The sound of leaves crunching under their feet echoed in the quiet, making Zara feel uneasy. As they walked, Zara couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. "Do you hear that?" she whispered to Alex. Alex stopped, straining to listen. "I don't hear anything. It's quiet," he said, looking around. Suddenly, Lio stumbled upon a small clearing filled with vibrant flowers. "Mom, look," he shouted, running ahead. "Leo, wait," Zara called, but he was already lost in the beauty of the flowers. Alex rushed after him, but Zara felt a chill run down her spine. She glanced back, her instincts telling her something was wrong. "We should go back," she urged, her voice tense. But it was too late. A rustling sound came from the bushes behind them, and two tall figures stepped into the clearing. They were Zarkan soldiers, their eyes fixed on the trio with a mix of curiosity and malice. "Caught you at last," one of the Zarkans shouted, raising a weapon. Zara's heart raced as she grabbed Leo's hand. "Run," she yelled, pulling him close. Alex reacted quickly, putting himself between them and the soldiers. "Get behind me," he shouted. The Zarkans moved forward, blocking their escape. "You think you can run from us?" The other soldier sneered. "You are not going anywhere." Zara's mind raced. She needed a distraction. "Leo, stay low and follow me," she instructed. They darted into the dense underbrush, the thorns scratching at their arms and legs as they pushed through the foliage. Alex fought against the soldiers, trying to hold them back. He knew he couldn't let them capture Lio or Zara. "Zara, this way," Alex called, spotting a narrow path through the trees. Zara didn't hesitate. She pulled Lio along, and they dashed down the path, their hearts pounding. The sounds of the Zarkan soldiers faded behind them, but Zara knew they wouldn't be safe for long. "Where are we going?" Lio asked, his voice shaky but filled with determination. "To find a safe place," Zara replied, glancing over her shoulder. She saw Alex still fighting the soldiers, trying to hold them off. "We have to help him." "No, Mom. We need to keep running," Lio urged, tugging at her arm. Zara hesitated, torn between protecting her son and helping Alex, but then she saw Alex stumble, and her heart clenched. "Okay, we need to find cover." They veered off the path and into the thick trees, hoping to hide from the soldiers. The forest was dark, and shadows danced around them as they pressed forward. Zara's mind raced with fear and worry for Alex. As they moved deeper into the woods, Zara spotted a small cave partially hidden by vines. "Over there," she pointed, leading Lio inside. Once inside, they crouched down, catching their breath. The cave was damp and cool, a stark contrast to the warm forest outside. Zara listened intently for sounds of the soldiers, her heart pounding in her chest. "Do you think we're safe here?" Leo whispered, his eyes wide with fear. "For now," Zara replied, trying to sound calm. "But we can't stay here for long. We need to find Alex and figure out our next move." Leo nodded, though his expression was still worried. Suddenly, they heard footsteps approaching. Zara's heart raced as she pressed a finger to her lips, urging Leo to stay quiet. They waited, breathless, as the shadows outside the cave danced. Zara peeked out and saw a Zarkan soldier searching the area. She felt a rush of fear. If they were found now, there would be no escape. "Stay back," she whispered to Leo, her heart racing. The soldier moved closer, scanning the ground for any signs of their presence. Zara felt the weight of her decision pressing down on her. They needed to find a way to get out of this situation. As the soldier turned, Zara knew they had to act fast. "On the count of 3, we'll make a break for it," she whispered, her voice steady. Leo nodded, determination replacing fear in his eyes. 1, 2, 3, Zara said, and they rushed out of the cave, sprinting into the forest, praying they could escape the danger that lurked behind them. Facing the villain. As Zara and Leo dashed through the thick trees, the sound of their hurried footsteps echoed in the quiet forest. Fear surged through Zara, but she kept her focus. They had to find Alex and escape the Zarkans once and for all. "Mom, what if they catch us?" Leo panted, struggling to keep up with her long strides. "We won't let that happen, Leo," she replied firmly, glancing back to ensure no soldiers were chasing them. "We're going to find Alex and get out of here." They ran for what felt like an eternity, the forest closing in around them. Suddenly, they stumbled into a small clearing where the sunlight broke through the trees, illuminating their path. Zara paused, trying to catch her breath. "Mom, look." Leo pointed, his eyes wide with excitement. In the center of the clearing stood Alex, locked in a struggle with a tall, armored Zarkan soldier. Zara's heart sank. Alex was outnumbered and overwhelmed, but he was holding his ground, determined to protect them. "Alex," Zara shouted, rushing toward him. The soldier turned, surprised to see them. "You thought you could hide forever?" he sneered, raising his weapon. "Your little hero is going to lose today." Zara felt a surge of anger. "Get away from him," she yelled, her voice steady. With Leo by her side, she dashed toward Alex, fear giving way to determination. The soldier swung his weapon, but Alex dodged just in time, landing a solid punch that sent the Zarkan staggering back. "Zara, Leo, stay back," Alex shouted, focusing on the soldier. But Zara couldn't stand idly by. "We can't let him take you," she cried, stepping forward. The Zarkan soldier regained his balance and turned to face her, eyes narrowing. "You think you can help him? You're just a human." Zara took a deep breath, summoning all her courage. "I may be human, but I will fight for my family." In that moment, something changed within Zara. She felt the power of her love for her son and Alex. "Together, we can take him down." Alex nodded, a spark of hope igniting in his eyes. "Let's do this." With a shared understanding, they moved as one. Zara dashed to the left while Alex lunged to the right, confusing the soldier. Leo stood back, wide-eyed, but he knew he had to help. "Mom, I'll find a rock," Leo yelled, searching the ground for something to throw. Zara kept her eyes on the soldier, who was now focusing on Alex. This was their chance. "Now, Leo," she shouted. With a small but determined grunt, Leo picked up a rock and threw it with all his might. It hit the soldier in the back, causing him to stumble forward. "Good job, Leo," Zara cheered, feeling a surge of pride in her son. The soldier turned, furious. "You little brat," he shouted, pointing his weapon at Leo. "No," Zara yelled, throwing herself in front of her son just in time. She felt the rush of air as the weapon fired, but Alex was quicker. With a powerful kick, Alex knocked the soldier off balance, sending him crashing to the ground. "Now, Leo," Alex shouted, motioning for his son to move. Leo rushed to Zara's side, and they backed away together as the soldier struggled to rise. "You'll regret this," the soldier spat, rage filling his voice. But Zara and Alex were ready. They stood side by side, united and strong. "You're not going to hurt us anymore," Zara declared, her voice unwavering. With a furious roar, the soldier charged at them, but Alex was prepared. He sidestepped and grabbed the soldier's arm, twisting it behind his back. "Zara, now," he shouted. Zara didn't hesitate. She quickly grabbed a thick branch from the ground and swung it at the soldier's legs, knocking him down. The soldier fell with a heavy thud, stunned and defeated. "Stay down," Alex commanded, holding the soldier firmly on the ground. Breathing heavily, Zara turned to Leo, who was watching in awe. "Are you okay, sweetheart?" Leo nodded, his eyes shining with excitement. "That was amazing, Mom." "We make a great team," Zara smiled, feeling a sense of relief wash over her. But their victory was short-lived. From the shadows of the trees, a chilling voice broke through the moment. "Well done, humans, but you have only delayed the inevitable." Zara's heart dropped as she recognized the voice. It belonged to Krell, the leader of the Zarkon soldiers. He stepped into the clearing, his tall figure imposing and menacing. "Let my soldier go, Krell," Alex shouted, clenching his fists. Krell laughed, a low, sinister sound. "Why should I? You're in no position to make demands." Zara felt a wave of fear wash over her. "What do you want from us?" she asked, trying to keep her voice steady. "Your child," Krell replied coldly. "He is the key to our plans. Hand him over, and I may let you live." "No," Alex and Zara shouted in unison. Leo looked up at them, confusion in his eyes. "What plans?" he asked, scared but curious. Krell smirked, his eyes glinting with malice. "The boy has powers he doesn't even know about. With him, we can conquer worlds." Zara stepped forward, her heart pounding. "You'll never take him." Krell's expression darkened. "Then you will both suffer. You think you have won today, but I will return, and next time, you won't be so lucky." With that, Krell signaled for the soldiers, who quickly gathered around him, helping their fallen comrade. Zara felt a chill run down her spine as Krell and his soldiers retreated into the trees, leaving them alone in the clearing. "Are we safe now?" Leo asked, his small voice filled with worry. "For now," Alex replied, breathing heavily. "But we need to move quickly. Krell won't give up that easily." Zara nodded, feeling the weight of their situation settle over her. "We'll find a way to protect you, Leo. I promise." As they prepared to leave the clearing, Zara realized they had only begun to face the dangers ahead. But together, they would find the strength to fight, no matter the odds. A heartwarming reunion. After the encounter with Krell, Zara, Alex, and Leo hurried away from the clearing. The forest felt different now, darker and more foreboding. Every rustle of leaves sent a shiver down Zora's spine. They had narrowly escaped, but Zara knew this was not the end. "Where do we go now?" Leo asked, looking up at Zara with worried eyes. "Back to the ship," Alex replied, glancing at the path ahead. "We need to regroup and figure out our next move." Zara nodded, her heart heavy with concern. They had to protect Leo at all costs. As they walked, the bond between them felt stronger than ever. They had faced danger together, and that shared experience brought them closer. As they approached the ship, the familiar sight of its metallic surface gave Zara a sense of relief. "We're almost there," she said, urging Leo to keep pace. But just as they reached the ship, a sound caught Zora's attention. It was soft, almost like a whisper carried by the wind. "Mom." Zara's heart raced. "Did you hear that?" she asked, turning to Alex and Leo. Alex frowned, listening intently. "It sounded like someone calling out," he said. "We need to check it out." Leo's eyes widened. "What if it's a trap?" "We have to take the chance," Zara said firmly. "It could be someone who needs our help." They followed the sound, which led them deeper into the forest. The trees closed in around them, and the atmosphere felt charged with tension. Zara held Leo's hand tightly, her heart pounding in her chest. "Stay close to me," she whispered to Leo. After a few minutes of searching, they emerged into a small clearing bathed in soft, golden light. In the center stood a figure, silhouetted against the rays of sunlight. Zara squinted, trying to make out who it was. "Mom," the figure called again, and Zara's heart soared at the sound of her child's voice. "Leo, is that you?" Zara asked, her voice trembling with hope. "Yes," Leo shouted, breaking free from Zara's grip and rushing toward the figure. "Leo, wait," Zara cried, but it was too late. Leo ran straight into the arms of a woman who had emerged from the shadows. Zara felt a rush of emotions as she recognized her. It was Lena, Leo's mother, who had disappeared years ago. "Mom," Leo cried, hugging her tightly. Zara's heart raced with joy and confusion. "Lena," she asked, stepping closer, "is it really you?" Lena smiled through her tears. "I've been looking for you both. I never gave up hope." Zara felt overwhelmed with emotions. "But how? We thought you were lost forever." "I was trapped in a distant galaxy, but I managed to escape," Lena explained, her eyes shining with love. "When I sensed Leo's presence, I knew I had to find you." Leo pulled back from the hug, his eyes wide with wonder. "You're back, Mom. You're really back." "Yes, sweetheart," Lena said, kneeling to look him in the eyes. "I'm home now, and I'm not leaving again." Zara felt tears welling up in her eyes. This was a moment she had longed for, a reunion that felt like a dream. "I can't believe it," she said, trying to catch her breath. "Believe it," Lena said with a soft smile. "I'm here for both of you." Alex stood back, feeling a mix of emotions. He had seen the bond between Zara and Leo, and now witnessing this reunion filled his heart with warmth. He approached them, offering a reassuring smile. "It's good to see you again, Lena." Lena turned to Alex, her expression grateful. "Thank you for taking care of my family. I owe you so much." Zara felt a sense of relief wash over her. "We all fought to protect Leo. Together, we can face anything." As they stood in the clearing, the weight of their struggles seemed lighter. The forest, once dark and foreboding, now felt like a sanctuary. The sunlight filtered through the trees, casting a warm glow around them. "Mom, can we go back to the ship now?" Leo asked, looking up at his mother with eager eyes. "Of course, sweetheart," Lena replied, taking Leo's hand. "I want to see the ship again." With renewed energy, the group made their way back to the ship. As they walked, Lena shared stories of her time away, filling the air with laughter and love. Zara watched as Leo beamed with joy, finally reunited with his mother. When they reached the ship, the door slid open, revealing the familiar interior. The warm lights welcomed them back. "Home sweet home," Zara said, smiling. Lena looked around in awe. "It's even better than I remembered." They settled inside, the atmosphere now filled with hope. As they gathered around the control panel, Alex turned to Zara. "What's our next move?" Zara glanced at Leo and Lena, feeling the sense of purpose wash over her. "We need to prepare for Krull's return. But now we're stronger together. We'll protect Leo and fight for our family." Lena nodded, determination shining in her eyes. "I'm with you. Together, we can face anything." As they began to strategize, Zara felt a sense of warmth and belonging. They were a family, ready to take on whatever challenges lay ahead. This was their moment, a heartwarming reunion that would give them the strength to face the future together. A new life together. After their heartwarming reunion, the group settled into a routine aboard the ship. Zara felt a sense of peace, knowing that Leo was safe and that Lena was back in their lives. Each day brought new challenges, but they faced them together as a family. Zara took the lead in planning their next steps. "We need to find a safe place to settle down," she said one morning, gathering everyone in the control room. somewhere away from Krell and his forces. Lena nodded in agreement. We can't let him find us again. He won't stop until he has Leo. Maybe we could go to the planet of Valora, Alex suggested, leaning over the control panel. It's remote, and I hear the locals are friendly. They might help us. Valora sounds good, Zara replied. But we need to be careful. We can't trust anyone until we know we're safe. Leo, who had been listening quietly, looked up with bright eyes. Can we explore the new planet when we get there? Zara smiled, feeling warmth in her heart. Of course, Leo. We'll explore together as a family. With their destination set, they prepared for the journey. The ship hummed to life as they engaged the engines. As they flew through space, Zara took time to teach Leo about navigation and the stars. He watched her with wide eyes, soaking in every word. Is it true that the stars have stories? Leo asked one evening as they gazed out at the vastness of space. Yes, every star has a story, Zara explained. Some are about bravery, love, and adventure. And one day, you'll create your own story among the stars. Leo grinned. I can't wait. Lena watched them with pride. Seeing Zara and Leo bond filled her with joy. You're an amazing mother, Zara, she said softly. Leo is lucky to have you. Zara blushed, her heart swelling with happiness. We're all lucky to be together now. As they neared Valora, the ship's sensors detected the lush green landscape below. The planet was beautiful, covered in vibrant forests and sparkling rivers. Look at that, Leo exclaimed, pointing out the window. It's like a giant playground. It really is, Alex replied, smiling at Leo's excitement. When they landed, the family stepped out of the ship. The air was fresh, filled with the scent of blooming flowers and the sounds of chirping birds. Leo ran ahead, laughing as he explored the surroundings. This place is amazing, he shouted, his joy infectious. Zara and Lena followed closely behind, taking in the beauty around them. We need to set up a base here, Zara said. We can use the ship as our home until we find a permanent place. Lena nodded, looking around with wonder. I can help with that. I know how to build shelters from my time away. As the day went on, they worked together to create a comfortable living space. With Zara's guidance, Lena and Alex set up a cozy area outside the ship using branches and leaves. Leo helped by gathering colorful flowers to decorate their new home. That evening, they gathered around a small fire they had built. The stars twinkled above them, creating a magical backdrop. Zara looked at her family, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. I'm so glad we're together, she said, gazing at Leo and Lena. This is just the beginning of our new life. Leo beamed. Can we tell stories around the fire? Absolutely, Lena said, leaning closer to Leo. Let's share our adventures. As they took turns sharing stories, laughter filled the air. Zara told tales of her time as a soldier, her battles, and the friends she had made along the way. Lena shared her own experiences from the distant galaxy, her struggles, and how she had managed to return to them. Alex shared funny stories from his past, keeping everyone entertained. Leo listened with wide eyes, absorbing every detail. When it was Leo's turn, he spoke about his dreams of exploring the universe and discovering new worlds. One day I want to be a hero like you, Mom, he declared, looking at Zara with admiration. Zara felt her heart swell with pride. You already are a hero, Leo. You're brave and kind, and that makes you special. As the fire crackled and the stars shone above them, Zara felt a warmth in her heart. They were safe now, far from Krell and his threats. This was a new beginning, a chance to create a life filled with love and adventure. Over the following weeks, they settled into their new home. Zara trained Leo in survival skills, teaching him how to gather food and find shelter. Lena worked alongside them, sharing her knowledge and skills. Together, they built a life that felt right, one filled with laughter, love, and connection. As they explored Valora, they met friendly creatures and even made allies among the local inhabitants. Zara felt grateful for each day they spent together, knowing they had overcome so much to reach this point. On one beautiful day, as they stood at the edge of a sparkling river, Leo looked up at his parents and smiled. "I love our new home. I love our family." Zara and Lena exchanged a glance, their hearts filled with joy. "We love you too, Leo," they said in unison. And in that moment, they knew they had built something beautiful, a new life together, full of hope and endless possibilities. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them as a family, united and strong.